Today, we're going to take a look at ultra-posable action figures you can 3D print at home.
Welcome back to Matt and Stu Review, where we take a look at your favorite toys from yesterday and today. Stuart, what do we have on the table?
Nat, what are you doing here?
You know, I had heard that Matt had introduced you to this product
Actually,
here.
he did. So
Yeah, so I thought it might be good for me to sort of react to these, and yeah, we'll see how that goes.
let's jump in. So today we're going to take a look at Dummy13. This is an open source 3D printable action figure created by a maker called Soozafone and set free basically into the world for everyone to kind of remix and print and play with as they please.
That is pretty awesome. How did it come across your desk, or how did Matt first see these and then say, "Hey, take a look
So
at this"?
Matt has been really interested in 3D printing.
Okay.
We first got an SLA printer for printing sort of like Warhammer type miniatures, and then we got an FDM printer, which is a filament printer, which opens up a whole new world of sort of 3D printing possibilities. These smaller Dummy 13s here were some of the first things that Matt printed on our Bamboo Lab P1S printer. And he's had them kind of kicking around the shop for a while. I was more interested in sort of like branded, licensed action figures and
Right.
didn't really pay too much mind until I printed one finally for myself after becoming obsessed with 3D printing. And now I'm obsessed with these guys. So the first one I printed here is actually a remix on the original Dummy 13. He's called the Dummy 13 Wanderer. I printed him at a little bit larger scale. He's got this hood that's removable, and then he's got sort of like a almost like a monk-like attire to him. He's got some baggy pants. He has some different shoulder pads than your standard Dummy 13.
This is really, really cool. Like, I mean, as we were setting up, I took a brief look at these guys, just in passing, and it was really just enamored with the movement. Like, there's so much posability in this. Even this one, specifically the hands, like you can bend the fingers,
Yeah,
make a
so
fist.
I actually printed those hands out of necessity. I had printed this thunder hammer for that figure, and I
Oh,
I kept breaking the pre-posed hands trying to fit it into his hand. So I specifically made those hands to hold that hammer. Another really neat thing about this figure is it sort of has like a Lego-esque aspect to it too. So in the front here, this is a whole Dummy 13 figure pre-assembly. So you see his yellow armor, you see his black kind of body frame, and then you can see what he'll end up looking like there with the crash test dummy. And even this is a remix on the crash test dummy. It's a bulkier body, so he should be like a buff crash test dummy in about the same scale.
that's really awesome. I don't know how much of the hands is really coming through in camera. I'm gonna try to do my best to just sort of hold it up. But like for even not being posable hands, the pose that they're in is striking. This is very like reaching out or like using your powers almost pose. Like I can see trying to use the force to get this hammer out of his hands.
Totally.
It's,
They end up being really good shrugging hands too.
oh
You can get
really?
him in a real like, what's going on kind of pose.
Let's see if I can
Um,
do that. That's something I'm really impressed by is like we're just kind of as we're talking posing it, and it the way that it holds up and the ease at which it poses and stands up, that's
yeah.
pretty
How
incredible.
many Batmen and Catwomen are we knocking over all the time just trying to stand them up on the table?
Exactly. Yeah, this is pretty incredible.
Yeah. So actually, if you want to look too, this is essentially your basic Dummy 13 with your basic handset. So he's going to have your open hands, those expressive hands. He's going to have some closed fists, and then he's going to have a couple of hands that are designed to hold weapons. Because this is an open sourced action figure, there's millions of makers out there making all kinds of weapons and hands and remixes and making Chuck Norris version of Dummy 13 and Spider-Man and Deadpool and
Batman?
Batman.
Mm.
There is a Batman. One of the things that kind of kept me from printing a Dummy 13 for myself was that wasn't sure how I would integrate them into my action figure collecting.
Okay.
And I feel that the Crash Dummy 13s make sense. Like they're a good like maybe robot for the danger room, a
Oh yeah, okay.
hologram for any character to be fighting in some sort of like training program. So I really liked the vibe of the Crash Test Dummy.
I mean I dig it too. I really like this guy. That saying that it's a monk and having the baggier look, but yeah, I could see very much putting them as robots in sort of any sort of situation that you have, and The danger room idea makes a ton of sense, or like putting them in the back cave.
Yeah.
Like okay, here's the training dummies for Robin, and like actually posing them out there. I think there's a lot of opportunity here. The posability is just incredible. Like that's the thing that I can't get over right now.
Well, and it's almost infinite, right? Because with a little bit of CAD design, you can change the figure. So, for example, also on the Wanderer 13 here too, I printed him larger feet. I thought they kind of fit the figure, and someone made larger feet for easier standing for him. So the crash test dummy there has the standard sized feet, and this guy's got big feet. What we have here is called a mini 13. So this is like a simplified kind of small kid version of the dummy 13. Matt had printed that one, actually stole it off his desk.
And it's like he's partying out. Like this is so cool. Even as a more simplified version of the model, the skeleton, it's so posable. It's so easy to play with. Like I feel like I want to take take these home and play with my son and just be like, yeah, let's have rock'em sock'em. Like so, or he's like almost DJing. Like he could just literally.
They're so fun. They
They are.
really
These are
are
really like.
amazingly fun figures. Here for my Wanderer 2, I've printed his standard kind of black head that looks cool in his hood because it matches his fists and stuff. I printed kind of like a couple of generic robot heads, the gold one, bronze one that's on him, and then the silver one here. It's fun to be able to customize your figure.
Yeah, I mean that is a really it's a really cool aspect to these as well. The fact that you're going off of a baseline and then you can move into something else. Yeah, just chilling in the lawn chair with
Yeah.
your hammer.
Well, and so makers are making a ton of accessories to go with these figures that, because of their scale and their size, end up working great for the figures that I collect, Marvel
Oh
Legends and
yeah.
stuff like that too.
So you can design your own Mjolnir or your own Thor's hammer
Ex-
for something else for some story in your head.
exactly.
That's really awesome.
Yeah, and you had mentioned sort of the expressiveness of the hands. I do feel like Soozafone, the original maker of the Dummy 13, he must be an artist of some sort. I mean, obviously he's a great engineer, to put this posability scheme together, but like you said, the expressiveness and the detail of the scale, of the body scale just really works.
Yeah, I think the first thing that I did was immediately start putting them into poses for illustration.
Oh,
So on your side, you do action figure photography, and I love to draw. I don't do it as much as I should, but I am an illustrator by trade, and it's expensive to get the really like nice posable sort of naked figures that really just to get your positioning right, to do the right perspective, and to have
yeah.
energy. And these have so much energy in them. So this is sort of great to just pose and have these awesome. Okay, now I can take a quick shot of this pose and then draw something else over the top of it. Like this is just a skeletal structure,
I
even though they are detailed.
Yeah, I feel like it really beats like your wooden character model that I've seen,
Hmm.
used for like illustration. Um, and it definitely at least meets up with like Sticky Bones is one brand that I
Right.
think I've seen out there that is marketed as specifically, a modeling and sort of drawing aid.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. And I don't think that the hands I've seen are anywhere near this. I also like the scale difference between the hands. I'm going to try to slide him out without
Oh yeah.
losing things. The comparison of the size of the hands is actually really it's interesting to me as somebody who likes to do character design because you could essentially scale this big or small to the proportions that you naturally draw in, which I think is really interesting for me. So like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, this is almost like the way I naturally cartoon with this size, and it's really enticing. It's really I really just want to like get down to posing them and starting to draw, which is I mean a fantastic feeling for myself.
Yeah.
So
Well, we'll get you printed one.
yeah.
We'll get you one printed up, and I'll love to see what you make with it.
Oh man, that's it's a pressure, but definitely I'm excited.
So, Nat, I think it's pretty clear that we're both fans of Dummy 13, but we do rate toys on this channel, so we've got to give it a rating. On a scale from 1 to 10, how would you rate the Dummy 13?
This is a big moment for me. This is the first rating I've given. I mean, look at this. We've got four different figure styles here. We've got sitting, posing. Come on, these are 10 out of 10. Like I can't not give it a perfect score when I can just see all of the different opportunities in my head
I'm
for
going to
this.
agree with you there. 10 out of 10. I mean, what a generous gift to like the action figure drawing community by the original creator, Soozafone, too, to just set this free and let the world have it. Thanks, Soozafone.
Absolutely, thank because this is my mind is racing. Like I literally I want to play. I think that's the I don't know, the biggest positive you can say about an action
Yeah.
figure is that you want to play. So,
And we want to hear from you. Is there a space in your action figure collection for an unlicensed 3D printed action figure? Are you an artist? Do you have a way to use the Dummy 13?
and if you like action figures and toy reviews like this, don't forget to like and subscribe.
This has been the Dummy 13 open source 3D printable action figure by Soozafone. Thanks for watching, everyone, and we'll see you in the next video.
Bye.